Right now I'm thinking about things that I am getting rid of in 2024. Sometimes you need to transition a habit out of what you're doing, but sometimes you need to just get rid of things, lay down the law, snap up the self-discipline and say, this is no longer in my life. And that is what list I am working on making right now. Number one on my list is excuses. I am really tired of making excuses for things. I like saying what I'll do. I like following through. I'm really big on follow through. In general, I'm a self-disciplined person, and sometimes I get into these ruts of just saying I'll do something, wanting to do something, or at least wanting the result of doing the thing. And then instead of doing it, I just make excuses about why I'm not doing it right now, or why I don't feel like doing it, or, I'll do it later, or why I can't do it. I think there is a difference between making an excuse for something or for not doing something and for having a reason. So obviously there is a balance of having grace when your schedule just goes crazy and you can't get something done, but also on the other side of that, there needs to be discipline for just not tolerating myself making excuses for not doing things that I need to do, that I want to do, that I have to do. Maybe I don't have the best attitude about it, maybe it's not my favorite thing, but making excuses wastes so much time. I think I'm just done wasting time, unless it's intentional and I'm trying to have a lazy day, a lazy time, in which case wasting time sometimes is enjoyable. But in my normal day-to-day, wasting time is not what I want to be doing. And so my effort to not waste time is to stop making excuses. The number two thing that is on my list of what I am cutting out in 2024 this year is sugar. I have such a sweet tooth, and I'm kind of anticipating this being harder than I think it will, which hopefully will help me. Hopefully it will not be harder than I think it will be, because I'm anticipating it being really difficult to give up sugar. I love sweets, but I have just been feeling for a few weeks now like I should just cut out sugar, and I think I'm going to try and do it for a whole year. Now, there are different levels to this. When I say sugar, I mean refined sugar. So when I make things, I don't want to put sugar in it. I don't want to consume anything with sugar in it. I'm still going to have fruit. For January, it's going to be solid all sugar is a no. I mean, refined sugar, added sugar. But then in things like bread and kombucha, there is sugar in that because they have yeast, and yeast eats sugar. And so you have to have sugar in those things in order to make them. So if I continue to do no sugar, then I'm not going to be able to have those things. January is going to be a hard no sugar situation, and then I will reassess. I'm okay with maple syrup and agave, which are natural sweeteners, which still are used as sugar. The heart behind this goal is to eat less sugar and sugary things and just get healthier, my diet healthier, change my eating habits. And so I'm not going to just keep my eating habits the same and sub out refined sugar for maple syrup or agave, because I feel that that is not following the heart of this goal, this rule, this action. Because if I'm still eating sweet things, then what's even the point of cutting out sugar and making the goal? But I don't know if I am like, it's sugar. It's not like all desserts. For January, it pretty much is, but I haven't decided to what extent I want to do it for the full year. I guess that's where I'm at. I have no more solid definition of my goal than knowing that I'm not eating sugar at all for January. And then I'm not eating sugar, but we'll see if I eat things that are not sweet that have a little sugar in them for the rest of the year, or if it's just a solid no. Kind of depends on how difficult this month is, where I end up in the world, you know, what access to food I have, if I have a kitchen to cook for myself, all of the things that impact what I eat. The next thing I'm giving up this year is coffee every day. I love coffee. I love the habit of drinking coffee, the warm beverage, the like holding like a mug in my hand, the habit of just like sitting there and enjoying it, and the smell and the taste. I don't drink coffee for the caffeine. This past year, 2023, I think I gave up coffee totally and caffeine for at least 4 months of the year. So like a third of the year. It was not consecutive months, but I did like give up the caffeine and the coffee and the habit and the warm beverage habit. Tea is just not the same. That was in a spirit of, I want to make sure that I'm not addicted to caffeine, so I need to not drink this to double check. And also it was like fasting it for different things and things. So I know that coffee is a good thing for me to give up sometimes. I think that in January, I'm going to do no coffee for a few weeks. And then after that, I just know that I want to drink less coffee. Kind of in line with the sugar. I don't have a clear definition of exactly what I want for all the things, but I do know that I do not want to drink coffee every day, which probably means I need to come up with a new morning routine that doesn't involve coffee, so that when I do drink coffee, it's like an add-on, it's not part of it, which will help me feel like I'm not missing anything from my morning routine when I do that. So, who knows how long I will not be drinking coffee this year, but I will not be drinking coffee every day this year. And for January, I'm gonna wean myself off of it. And then I'm just gonna go no coffee for a while. Next on my list of things I'm giving up is blame. I think blame is another time waster. I'm moving to a sunnier spot on this bench because it's cold. Blame is another time waster, and I also feel like it's just like a very negative energy. It's rarely productive. It doesn't make anyone actually feel good. It doesn't bring results, and it kind of leaves you stuck in problems instead of going towards solutions. I kind of think of blame as like, even when it's justified, it's kind of like mud, you know, because you can get through it, but it's harder and it kind of makes your feet stick in it, and it takes extra work to get through a puddle of mud. I feel like it takes extra work to get through a blame game, a puddle of blame, and I'm just over it. Now, there is definitely a difference between responsibility and blame, and I feel like assigning responsibility and taking responsibility and being responsible and acting responsible and, you know, fixing things because you're responsible for them, that is valid and just. But there is a huge difference between responsibility and blame, and I am over blaming. I don't want it. I don't want it in my life. I don't want to blame other people. I don't want to be stuck in people's blame games. And I I want a year that is solutions minded and solutions focused, and blaming, in my experience, never gets you solutions. It just gets you stuck in whose fault it is. Most of the time, that does not get you anywhere fast. So it's out. Blame is out. The last thing that I've thought of on my list of things I'm getting rid of in 2024 is mindless shopping. Sometimes it's easy to use like shopping, or even like scrolling through stores, or even like making lists of things you want, or finding things you want for a future time when you're actually going to do the buying. That can be like a form of escapism. It can be a distraction, and I feel like any way you look at it, any way I look at it, it is distracting me from the present where I am. One of the things I always try to work on is to be more present, even in times where it's not fun in the present. It's not fun to be present in the not fun present, but it's important because the present is where we are living our lives, and if we're not mentally here, then you're kind of wasting your time. You're wasting opportunities, you're missing things, and you're getting stuck. And I don't want any of those things. And so this year, 2024, I am making it a goal to not do mindless shopping, even in-person shopping. Shopping does not solve problems. It might soothe, but it does not solve problems. And again, there's a difference between saying I'm having a really bad day, I know that shopping would put me in a better mood, so I'm choosing to go shopping, and that is different than checking out of a situation mentally and just starting to shop instead, or using shopping as a distraction, or using it as an escapist action. I just don't want any of that in my life this year, and so I am cutting out mindless shopping. I feel like everything on my list kind of had caveats, but I know the heart behind what I'm deciding to do, and so I'm not worried about being legalist about it. I'm a very self-disciplined person, and I like following rules, and so when I make rules for myself, I stick to them. So I'm not that worried about not being so specific about things or so strict with myself about things, because I kind of know the level that I do things on, and I know what these goals are meant to accomplish, and so I'm just going with it. But there are definitely things that I do not want in this year, in this new year. And a new year is literally just like a day on a calendar that someone decided makes a new year to keep track of time, which I love and I follow. And it brings this mindset of new, and I really like that. And so I am using this mindset of new to my benefit and cutting things out of my life that are just not coming with me anymore. So maybe there are some things that you want to cut out of your life too, and you can do it. And this is a great time to do it, and also it's like a reset on your calendar, all around, month, year, week, all of it. And so even if you're not sure you want to stick with it forever, this is a good time to start and try it out, because you're never going to know unless you try. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you in the next one.